I have become death, the destroyer of worlds. When people ask you if you want to watch Tropic Thunder and you're like, I've seen that movie before. I don't really need to watch it. And I'm not really big fan of Ben Stiller. Like, I'm not a huge fan of Ben Stiller, and I'm like, not my cup of tea right now. Besides, I've got a lot more important things to do than watch a movie, especially at like 9 o'clock at night when I could be doing this. I mean, this isn't going to take me that long. Hello, folks. It is I, the Amazing Kitty, this with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about some interesting facts about the Trinity bomb test. Now, without further ado, let's get on with it. So here we go. We're here. We're going to first take a look at something right here. Now, this is something that is Tutankhamun's brooch, and that is that green glass, and that scarab is made out of a green glass. Now, what does that green glass have to do with the Trinity bomb test? Well, they found glass similar to that around the Trinity bomb site, and what they found is that glass is made by 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 materials melting, by the glass melting, and because of certain factors, it has that green color, and it's a very interesting thing. Like that's a very interesting little fact about. And this can also be caused by meteorite by a meteorite exploding, which is where the ancient Egyptians found this glass. Was from an explosion in the desert, in the deserts of Libya, and what is present day Libya. So if you want to know what the book is called, that's from the Gold of Tutankhamun, which gives a good history of all the different artifacts of Tutankhamun. So I wanted to throw that in here. And I got it for only $6 at a thrift store a couple months ago. And I thought it would be really worth while sharing this book. And so I'm going to talk about the next fact. And it is going to be from the Bhagavad Gita. And this translation by Swami Prabhupada will be the one that I'll be using. I have another translation somewhere around here, and if you want to get a book recommendation, since we're on the subject of Prabhupada, you can get his book, The Science of Self-Realization. It's probably written from a Krishna consciousness point of view. A worthwhile book to check out. And you can also check out one of his other book or book relating to, and I believe he wrote this one as well, or it's based on the teachings of Prabhupada, and I thought it would be good to plug those two books since I happen to have them. So without further ado, let's read from the Bhagavad Gita. And I'm going to ask you, who said this? And you might be wondering, what does this have to do with the Trinity bomb test? And I will explain to you what this has to do with the Trinity bomb test. And this is very much... So, I'm on, I believe, chapter 11, text 12. If hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once into the sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form. And you might be wondering, what universal form? Who is this being talked about? This is Krishna basically being talked about. But you might be wondering, what does this have to do with the Trinity bomb test? And this is, by the way, Krishna in his multi-headed form. And I'm going to ask you again, who might have said this? How many of you know who Oppenheimer is?
We knew the world would not be the same. Few people laughed. Few people cried. Most people were silent. I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." I suppose we all thought that one way or another.
See, Oppenheimer uttered these words, and the words that I am essentially uttered at the very beginning of this video, and of course Oppenheimer said something that, like, and so I thought it would be very interesting to read. So Oppenheimer's famous phrase, "Now I am become death, destroyer of worlds," is a reference to a verse from the Hindu scripture Bhagavad Gita. Verse in question is from chapter 11, verse 32, in which the deity Krishna reveals his divine form to warrior Arjuna. Very interesting. Very interesting little historical fact you probably did not know about the Trinity bomb test. And the interesting fact is Truman was more handled the whole situation better than Oppenheimer, considering that Truman has never probably had seen a Gita in his life. I've got like 2 translations of the Gita, so it's like I've obviously seen a Gita before. I have the one by Prabhupada, which is one of the ones that I would highly recommend. Especially the one that especially get the one by Jeffrey Armstrong, Convinja Rishi. The Bhagavad Gita Comes Alive. That is probably a pretty good translation from what I heard. But regardless of his knowledge of the Gita, he still didn't understand the lesson Lord Krishna was trying to teach Arjuna, that one's duty is the most important thing. Truman, who probably didn't even see a Gita in his life, turned out to be a better Hindu than Oppenheimer. And I agree with that. So you got some more stuff here about Truman the Giga Chad. And of course I'm probably going to have to, hopefully that this doesn't affect the video because it's got a profane word in here, but not profane word, obscenity. Difference between obscenity and profanity is that profanity is blasphemy, obscenity is not. That's the difference. And this is like Oppenheimer when he went into Truman's office with Dean Acheson, said to the latter, winging his hands, "I have blood on my hands." Truman later said to Acheson, "Never bring that bloody cretin in here again." He didn't drop the bomb. I did. That kind of weepiness makes me sick. You know, and that's a lesson to that. You know, and not like Oppenheimer probably didn't know what he was doing. He most certainly should have at least known what he was doing. Like, he couldn't have not have known. Like, I used to like Oppenheimer, but this little historical fact that I didn't know about him bursting into Truman's office kind of paints Oppenheimer not exactly a person that I like. And I thought I would mention those two little things because I thought they were really interesting. About all. Peace out.